Millionaire stop in front of Beggar and says, "You're my mom." When the DNA results show up, she was shocked. For as long as he could remember, Daniel Foster knew two things. He had been adopted, and somewhere out there was a woman who had brought him into the world, only to disappear. Now at 32, Daniel was one of the wealthiest young entrepreneurs in the country. CEO of a booming tech company, owner of luxury cars, yachts, and private jets. His life looked perfect from the outside, but inside there was always a void, a space no amount of success or money could ever fill. His adoptive parents, especially his father, never spoke kindly of his biological origins. "She gave you up because she didn't want you," they used to say. "Forget the past. We gave you everything." But Daniel could never forget. In quiet moments, he would stare at his reflection, wondering, whose eyes are these? Whose blood runs in my veins? After his adoptive father's death, while sorting through old belongings in the study, Daniel stumbled upon a sealed envelope, yellowed with age. Inside were legal documents, signatures, and an old faded photograph. A young, tired-looking black woman held a newborn white baby in her arms, smiling faintly for the camera. Beneath it, written in delicate handwriting, Amara Foster, 1992, birth mother of Daniel Foster. A legal document was enclosed, stating, "Due to tragic circumstances and economic hardship, the biological mother has consented to full legal adoption. No future claims permitted. Reason: death of husband in aviation accident. Single mother unable to provide care." The words hit Daniel like a blow to the chest. She hadn't given him up out of neglect. She'd been grieving, alone, and powerless. For weeks, he couldn't sleep. The same thought repeated in his mind. "I have to find her." He hired the best private investigators, dug through old social records, but she had vanished. No trace, no death certificate, nothing. Until one crisp autumn afternoon, fate stepped in. Daniel had just wrapped up a corporate lunch meeting in the oldest part of the city. Driving his bright orange supercar slowly through the narrow streets, lost in thought, his mind returned to that photograph. Her face, her eyes. "Where are you, Mother? Are you still alive?" As Daniel approached a busy intersection, traffic began to slow. He casually glanced at the sidewalk, and then he saw her. An elderly black woman, thin and frail, hunched under the weight of a large cloth sack. Her clothes were torn, her feet bare, and she walked with slow, painful steps. Her head bowed, invisible to the world. But Daniel's heart skipped a beat. That face, those eyes, it was her. A rush of adrenaline surged through him. Without thinking, he slammed on the brakes, his bright orange car screeching to a stop in the middle of the road. Horns blared behind him, but Daniel didn't care. He flung open the door and bolted across the pavement. The old woman looked up, startled, as a young man in a sleek gray suit sprinted toward her. For a long second, neither of them spoke. Daniel's chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. His hands trembled. Then, with a voice cracking under emotion, he said, You're my mother." The woman blinked, confused. Her frail body trembled beneath the weight she carried. She looked at the stranger before her, so young, so well-dressed, with eyes full of something she hadn't seen in years, longing. What did you say?" she asked, barely above a whisper. Daniel's voice broke as he repeated, "You're my mother. I know it. Please, tell me your name." Tears welled in the woman's tired eyes. Her lips quivered. "Amara," she whispered. Daniel's knees nearly gave out. It was the name from the adoption file. With shaking hands, he reached into his coat and pulled out a folded photograph, old and worn. It was her, young and weary, holding a newborn baby. "Look," he said, voice shaking. "It's you. It's me." Amara's breath caught, her eyes fixed on the image as though the world had stopped moving. Her hands flew to her mouth as a soft sob escaped her lips. "Oh God, no, it can't be." Daniel knelt before her. "I found everything," he said gently. "The documents, the truth about my father, about why you had to let me go. They told me you didn't want me, but they lied." Tears streamed down Amara's face. Her legs gave way as she sank to the ground, overwhelmed by emotion. Daniel reached out and held her tightly. "You didn't abandon me," he whispered. "You saved me. You gave me life." Amara's hands slowly reached up to cup his face, her fingers trembling as they brushed against his skin. They told me I would never see you again," she cried. She wept. "After your father died, I had nothing. I couldn't even feed myself, let alone a baby. Her voice cracked. "I had no choice." Tears streamed down her face as the memories came flooding back. "They forced me to sign. They made me pose for that photo. They said it was the only way to save you." Daniel pulled her into a tight embrace. "You don't have to explain," he whispered. "You're my mother. You always will be." For long moments they clung to each other, the years of grief, pain, and longing pouring out in silent tears. Passers-by paused, some in shock, others in awe, watching a wealthy young man embracing a frail beggar woman in the middle of the street. But Daniel didn't care. Finally, through teary eyes, he looked at her. "Come with me," he said softly. "Please, let me take care of you now." Amara shook her head weakly. "Look at me. I'm nothing. I have nothing. You're a rich man. You don't need me." Daniel gave her a gentle smile. "You are everything I've ever needed. I have all the money in the world, but I've never had my mother." Slowly, with trembling legs, Amara let him guide her into the luxurious car. For the first time in decades, she sat on soft leather, her tears still falling onto her weathered cheeks. Daniel called his assistant immediately. "Get the best doctor, the best care. Prepare a room at my house. She's coming home." In the weeks that followed, Amara received full medical care. She was given new clothes, warm meals, and a soft bed. Her strength returned slowly. Her face, once sunken with sorrow, began to glow with life again. Every evening, Daniel would sit by her side, listening to the stories she had locked away for years, tales of love, of his father, of the impossible decision she had been forced to make, and of the countless days she had spent wondering what had become of her baby boy. One quiet night, as they sat together by the fireplace, Amara looked at her son, strong, kind, and full of love. "I thought I had lost you forever," she whispered. "I never believed you'd forgive me." Daniel reached for her hand and held it gently. "There's nothing to forgive," he said softly. "You gave me life, and now I finally get to give you the life you always deserved." And so, the woman who once had to give up her child, who once wandered the streets forgotten and alone, now lived in warmth, dignity, and love, in the care of the son she had never stopped loving. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.